The reason why I made this script, not only for you guys, but also for myself, even if your core is like a bad player, he will have a much easier game, like the odds of him making the right decision is much higher if all the details are working in his favor all the time. If you only play on your lanes and try to outplay everybody all the time, the games will just be really random. But if you have a plan for all of these moments, you will notice it in your pubs. You will win so many more games just based on these simple facts. You will be the difference maker, even as the position 5. First example for the script, I'm gonna use this Tusk example. You know, we're in a strong position, we make our plan for the minute 0 runes. I have a Tusk, I'm playing with a Weaver and IO, which means that we'll be able to use tag team. I'm also like a bully hero, so this means I can play in enemy areas. I can basically use my body to get information. So we'll just make an aggressive play here. This means Slaughter gets a bound rune, we get both bound runes on this side, and we're able to get a kill on this Venge. Quick thing, you know, it doesn't seem very complicated, but it's just like, I'll show you what happens. So, Dire team, my team, has a plan here. We have 3 heroes stacked here. Radiant team, they have no plan. They have Disruptor, PL, just kind of AFKing in the safe lane. They have no desire to go for this rune. The Ursa is blocking, so you see, no plan. Dire has a plan. This is, you know, it just kind of works out in our favor. Good example of how, like, when you have a plan, it just makes all the difference. And this is not like, you know, this is not me going like, I'm telling the Ember what to do, I'm telling the Slaughter what to do. Like, you know, I'm just telling my Wisp, yo, come here, let's go for first blood. If he does it, we'll do it. If he doesn't, you know, fuck it. It's not the end of the world, right? I want you guys to understand that these things are not absolute. Just because I'm playing Omni doesn't mean I should always go for this rune, right? In this game, I have a stacked pull. I choose to prioritize the pull. Partly because I have a stack, but partly also because I'm playing against a Weaver. If I go for this rune, Weaver might just outrun me because Sakuchi. I can't really get on top of him, you know, like, I don't want to buy a dust just to get this rune, you know. Another thing is that if I go for this rune, sometimes it might leave my carry in an exposed scenario, which also can, you know, decide against going for the rune, basically. This game, I decided not to do it. Some games, it will be a really good place to do it. I'm just gonna try to teach you guys when it's a good idea, when it's not. If you feel strong, you get a power spike or something. Let's say you push the wave all the way into enemy tower. You feel strong, you can go here. Generally speaking, you will not get ganked doing this. A lot of the time, I find myself, you know, fighting in my lane, using a lot of my resources, and then I'm like, okay, cool. I'll go take this bounty, and then I'll go die to like the tier 2 tower mid or something like that. It's a good thing when you feel like you have free time, but if you feel like you don't have free time because of the position your carry is in, or you need to deal with a pull or block a big camp or something, some lanes are just naturally more intense than others. But if you feel like you have a lot of spare time in the lane, it's definitely a good thing to go take this bounty. This is a minute 6 example from the Omni Knight replay as well. Right now, there's gonna be... So 6 minutes is the runes, right? So my Void Spirit already has resources. He's about to hit level 6. So what I want to do here is I want to help him get a rune if possible. So I'll do her. I'm playing pretty offensively because I'm a bully hero, right? I'm playing as the Weaver. Like, I'm not scared to like even go in here as the Omni Knight. If I was a backliner guy, I would probably play from here, this angle, and like follow up on the Void Spirits. But because I'm this type of hero, I feel like I can be a bit more in their face and bait a few spells. So we don't get the rune, but it creates a scenario for us where we can fight. We end up killing the Razor, right? It's a good scenario for us. The Razor did not get the rune. The Weaver got it, but we got a 5 example from the Snapfire game is the Siege Waves. This is a way of dealing with it like in a defensive way. So what I'll do is, it's pretty simple. Pull the small camp, minute 5 wave. It's gonna aggro my whole catapult wave, including the catapult. Everything I need to think about now is like not letting them pull here, which my Wave King helps me do. And then the wave is simply gonna walk into here. This means that, you know, my Wave King will not lose his tower even if I leave him for a very, very long time. These heroes naturally doesn't have any tower push. I deny the Siege Wave, which means that there is no worries here. My Wave King can keep farming. I can look to do something else, like stack, go for runes. And you notice how this is like, if you look at my gameplay here, it doesn't look spectacular. It doesn't look, you know, anything great for an untrained eye, but it's like a very smooth thing, right? So I pull the Siege Wave. He gets to farm all of it. He gets a lot of XP here. I go stack. And then I'm also at the rune. So it's like, there's a lot of things here that is happening at the same time. That is really good for my Wraith King. It's really good for myself because I get to stack. This means that I can get a lane while Ember clears the stack later. Ember is in a position to fight for a rune. He gets 2 bounties and a kill. So it's really good for all 3 players, and this is a sequence of 1 minute. You cannot always ask to get these good of circumstances or like outcomes from these moves. It's just like, if you keep doing things right, more often than not you will have a good outcome. A lot of the time this camp will be blocked, or they will try to pull it as well, so it's not every game you can have like this pull and then chain pull it. It's very unlikely that this happens like regularly. First of all, getting the pull and securing the day, not getting the pull, is the first priority. But then if you want to be really aggressive, let's say you do a single pull here on this camp and not chain pulling like we did in this example, we're gonna have a really insane wave here. So what I can do is I can single pull the small camp. I can still do everything I did, because this is gonna take a while for this to push, right? You see, it has still not reached the tower after I've done the stack, I've not taken the rune, and I'm going for these bound runes, right? So let's say my carry hero here is like a hero with a fast timing. Let's say it's a Weaver or a Luna with like treads. He's still having a really good game. If I do this single pull, it's gonna be a double wave now, and then I do everything I just did, and then like my mid hero is in this part of the map, right? And he's like, oh shit, I have a haste. This guy, the offlaner, is gonna be like level 4 here. Like, he's definitely gonna be a level behind my carry because their siege wave died, ours hasn't. And this can create a scenario where like you can like super sandwich him and like really destroy his game. But it takes a lot of things to be right. So you need your carry to be like a fighting hero. In this game, like the Wraith King is like, he's not that useful, even though we can do it. It would be a lot better with like a more offensive hero. So you see what happens here, like there's a big wave coming on him. These 2 heroes could definitely connect up here, especially if we're able to win the rune fight against enemy mid laner. So this is definitely a play you can keep in mind. Some games though, it's just not gonna be like the best thing. You don't want to force fights on heroes that are weak, you know, and just want to farm. You want to play with your strong heroes. If we have Sage Wave, like we're gonna take tower if we have enough creeps and like we just kill them, right? They can't de-push. So me and Nico has done this a lot where we play like Slark or Luna, which is like a more fast carry, like they're more interested in fighting early, you know, based off the toolkit and items. And then we'll just do this, like we play some Wisp Slark, and like naturally our mid hero is already here taking the battle, and we're like, yo, come here bro, and we just snowball the game super hard, we kill the tower, push it all the way in, and then like this Mars is level 4 or something, sitting here, and then me and Nico are just like, alright, we're already in here, and like we run mid now, you know? We like snowball the game super hard. But I wouldn't want to force this if your carry is not like a hero that wants to do that, you know? Like if your carry is Alchemist, I don't want him to be diving a tower. You know what I mean? I want him to be farming. But if he's PA, Slark, you know, hero that is like strong early, it's a good play when you feel like you can do it. Right now, you know, we're in between these points of action in the script, so like there's no Siege Wave, no runes or anything, so I'm just kind of stacking. I used the nighttime to ward here. Stack the camps for my Ember. You know, maybe look to do something on the Mars, but my highest priority is just controlling areas, securing vision, and then I'll play for the rune. So minute 8 rune, I'll be there with my Ember. He gets a haste, I die. It's not the best outcome, but at least we're getting the runes, right? Creates a fight. As I spoke about in the theoretical part, on the minute 8 rune, it's way more likely that offlaners will move in, which is exactly what happens here. The Mars comes and that results in them getting a Pango kill also. Our offlaner is weak, so he doesn't want to come. It's just like, this is out of my control, you know, like this could be matchup based or how my players played. Anyway, you need to consider this and just be ready for these moments. Make the best decision you can. Minute 9, we're not in a, you know, a timer in the script, so I'm just gonna stack and look toward. Using the nighttime to control walking into areas. And now we're gonna get to the minute 10 mark. Let's see what happens. So as you can see here, OD wants to go for the rune. Because I set up the vision here, we see him and we make it go, right? Ember is thinking about the rune, OD is thinking about the rune, I'm thinking about the rune. But because he's in the river, under our vision, we decide to go on him here. So he doesn't die. We kinda... It kinda turns into like a shitfest for us. But anyway, like, the idea is there. We're thinking about the rune, we're trying to do something. It just so turns out that our Marcy is like basically a piece of shit, he has nothing. Anyway, the intention is there. We have the ward for the rune. Ember will actually end up getting this rune potential. No, alright. Anyway, the intention is there. We make the best decision we can. We sacrifice the supporter too if we have to. And then you see, we still have the siege wave here, so... You know, I'm still not level 6, but it's like, we can still do something with the siege wave, right? The runes are done for this part of the game, but we have siege, so let's try to maximize the potential of this. So we're gonna go here. Take a fight, look to pressure the tower. This time the enemies end up deciding, okay, we're not gonna rotate all heroes, we're actually getting... in all the previous moments, like the 6-minute rune, the 8-minute rune, the 10-minute rune, we were outnumbered or significantly weaker. But this time, the course of the Radiant team, we're not... You know what? I don't want to take this fight into Pangold. Into... You know, we don't have Snapfire ult yet, but Pangold is like the big difference maker. They're like, okay, we don't want to fight. This leads to finally getting a tower kill or a rune that we really wanted, right? So... And now when this is all dealt with, the script... You know, these 10 minutes, this is when you can really like... slow it down a bit, maybe reward yourself as a support, and this is exactly what I do here. Try to get my 6, and you know, don't try to keep forcing things here because you're kind of just a pawn now. As a support, you need to get your 6 to keep being useful, and now we open the map for your course where they are gonna be able to farm without you holding their hand 24/7. One thing about these timers, guys, like the script timers, like I'm talking about the 6-minute rune here as an example. It doesn't mean that everything is always immediate. So what I mean is, when you're planning for the 6-minute rune, sometimes the best thing you can do is like a minute before. So I'll show you what I mean. So right now I'm dead, it's minute 5. I know that my anti-mage is in a really, really good spot in this game. Like, it's very unlikely that the Tide Snapfire can take the tower against the AM right now, even if they have the siege alive for a little bit. What this allows me to do is, what I'll do instead is, I will go refill my puck. It's just about to hit nighttime, so I'll make sure that he has resources, right? He's full, he has full bottle, full mana, full HP. D-ward mid, bring sentries and obs. I'll ward the cliff here, make sure that we have great vision for the rune fight. Use the siege wave mid instead. So this is like a offensive way of using the siege rather than defensive. Right now we're using offensive way, so we're putting a lot of pressure on this void spirits. Right now he has like nothing to fight the rune with. Like, if he is not careful, like really careful, he will die in this rune fight. And also it's hard for him to defend his tower, right? So okay, we're pushing it in. We are unlucky here, which Void Spirit gets a lucky rune, but anyway, we're killing this Snapfire. We did like half of this tower's HP in damage. So simply by providing vision and resources to my mid hero, in like a preemptive way, we were able to get a really good outcome out of this, right? Even though we were unlucky in this case, like Void Spirit gambled and got the top rune, let's say we got the bottom rune here, we would probably take the tower, kill at least a Snapfire or both of them. And you know, so this is like me making a good play. I mean, let's call it a smart play, because it's not like this is not like me clicking a button in a great way or like outplaying somebody. It's just like doing the right thing at the right time. And then I want to state the fact that this was really unlucky for us. This could have been even better, but you see, like, we still almost got the tower. My puck is doing really good. The points of the script are not always immediate. Sometimes you can be preemptive about these things. So the reason why I made this script, not only for you guys, but also for myself, to be honest, like as a pro, is that Dota, like the game, how it works is like people tend to think about how they can outplay somebody, how they can get the better trade, how they can get a sneaky kill or something, which is great. You know, like you need to be thinking like this to improve as a player, to be a better mechanical player, to be like a higher skilled player. But it's also a very strategic game. So no matter how mechanically skilled you are, unless you are aware of like the timers of the game and how it matters, like, you know, everybody understands simple things such as like Aegis is good, like I have 2 lives, I can fight better, right? This applies to every little thing. Anything that can give you an advantage in the game, how you leverage it is how you're gonna build advantages or fall behind. So runes is gonna be what dictates which mid hero is stronger usually. Vision is gonna dictate which team can farm more or get more kills in the end. Siege waves is gonna dictate, you know, who does more tower damage, which will speed up or slow down the game based off who is able to use it better. These are mechanics in the game that is meant to be leveraged, and if you can leverage it better than enemy team, you will naturally have more advantages overall. And it's all about the small details. Like if you do the small details right, you know, even if your core is like a bad player, he will have a much easier game. Like the odds of him making the right decision is much higher if all the details are working in his favor all the time. This doesn't mean you will by default win every game, it just means that your odds are like way higher than if you neglect these facts and just try to really like, if you only play on your lanes and try to outplay everybody all the time, the games will just be really random. But if you have a plan for all of these moments, you will notice it in your pubs. You will win so many more games just based on these simple facts, because truly in public matchmaking and even in like lower tier pro games, people are not structured like this, and just you making one good rotation can change the entire game, and it snowballs really fast, and obviously there's tilt factor, things like that as well. So games tend to snowball really fast in pubs, and yeah, just pay attention to these things and you'll notice that you will be the difference maker even as the position 5.